Welcome back to the Conversation in Colon podcast. I am your host, Damien, with my co-host, Jared.
Hey, what's up,
What is up, boys and girls? Mainly boys.
lads and ladettes?
Yeah, it's episode 21. You know what that means? Nothing special. So we have very few things to talk about. We would like to first start off with what we're doing for Spooktober, or Spooktober, sorry.
Wow, that was cringy
Sorry.
as fuck,
Sorry.
dude.
I'm
Spooky.
Spooktober, bro. Obviously, it's spooky season. And that means we
It's
got
not though.
it's coming.
It's near, but don't jump the gun there.
I mean, less than a
Bring
week
up your
it's
Christmas
spooky.
lights after Thanksgiving. Okay,
No, I'm not
kiddo?
that person. I do keep my Christmas tree up till like February though.
Oh,
I just don't
it's
put
not
it
bad.
away. I procrastinate. Anyways, spooky season is less than a week away, and we want to do something interesting. So, starting this week, we're gonna start watching 2 movies a week. They're going to be Halloween themed, horror themed. So obviously we'll announce those movies, and then we're going to watch them. We're going to review them on the show, but also we'd like you to watch them, and then maybe tweet us your thoughts, and we'll read out your reviews on the show as well if you tweet them at us.
I missed that part.
Yeah. So the first 2 movies are going to be Scream, the original.
Oh wait, you're picking them? I don't have a say in this.
Correct. Scream, the original.
What if I don't own these movies?
Don't you have Scream's on Netflix?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Netflix is gay though.
I've made sure to pick things that are on. And also, don't you have fucking cable? It's on there all the time.
What the fuck's a cable?
Don't you have Time Warner?
Actually, we
Spectrum.
have WoW, I think.
Oh, yeah, then you have movie channels probably. The second movie is the original Halloween. So,
Ugh.
how fucking dare you?
I just saw the new one, and if the old one's anything like the new one, then yeah, ugh.
No, the old one's way better. So you have a week to watch those 2 movies, if you are the listener listening. And then at any time you can send.
You're talking to me.
I know you can send us your review, score it 1 out of 10, and leave us your reasoning why. Give us some pros, some cons, and then we're gonna do the same every single week. It's what we're gonna start the shows out with
Every single week
until Halloween. And then the week of Halloween, so we'll have an episode live November 1st. So that episode, which is a Friday, so that November 1st episode is our Halloween special, and we're gonna have some spooky stuff. Not really. We're gonna rank our favorite horror movies of all time, or horror movies / Halloween movies of all time. So we're gonna do like a top 10, top 5, and then if you'd like to send us yours as well, send it over. I'll have our Twitter's linked down below. But anyways, that is our announcements for this week.
Cool.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show.
Dear God.
You want to know what really annoys me?
Hard.
You want to know what
What's
really?
that? What?
My mom says
What?
potatoes.
What's wrong with that?
It pisses me. It's potatoes, not potatoes.
Okay, but that's twang. That's an accent, buddy. You can't be mad at your own mother for that.
I'm mad. I'm whenever she says it, I'm just like, it's potatoes. You fucking idiot.
I mean, you do talk to your mother that way.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
I just yell at her to make me dinner. That's all. So we are gonna go ahead and review Borderlands 3, which has been out for about a week and a half now.
Jesus, has it been out that long already?
Our progress is we've beat the main story, and we are level 38. So we're about 12 levels away from being max. We're kind of getting into the end game content. We've activated mayhem mode and stuff, so all the people level up to us, and they do double the damage, which is fucking ridiculous. So we'll kind of rate each section as it goes, and then we'll do an overall rating at the end. So story-wise, Jared, since you have played Borderlands 1 and 2, give me your review of the story of Borderlands 3.
Okay, my overall review, well, I shouldn't say overall, but my overarching review for the story in Borderlands 3 was it was a good story for a lot of reasons in a lot of ways, but it still doesn't have the memorable moments that Borderlands 2 had, I guess is a good way to put it.
Okay.
Like it was good. The new Vault Hunters were great. I love the new Vault Hunters. They were good. I mean, you playing as Zane, he was real. Some of his voice actor lines were hilarious. Flack was awesome because he was just like an emotional or emotionless like kind of object. And I obviously didn't hear the voice lines for the other two because we didn't play those other two. But the few things I heard from Amara when you accidentally deleted some of your levels and I had to help you with that, she seemed cool too. The villains, however, and you even made this comment, I know, the villains were not great. Like they were good characters, but they weren't great.
They're not Handsome Jack.
They're fuck no. Handsome Jack is the best villain we'll ever have in Borderlands. There's no topping that. There isn't. That being said, like the Calypso twins they met the same level of absolute horrible douchebaggery that Handsome Jack did, but it felt like Handsome Jack was just more sarcastic, more witty, a little quicker on the draw for a lot of those things.
And I feel like he was more involved.
Yeah, it definitely. And like the Calypso twins, like they weren't as threatening because Jack was like funny and like humorous because he thought he was funny, even though everyone, like the good guys, obviously thought he wasn't. But then like he got really fucked up and dark. The Calypso twins were just stupid little shitheads who commented off of each other. Like Troy was like, oh, God, don't forget about me, sis. We're gonna be gods, plural, not just you.
He has that.
Okay, shut up.
That
little brother syndrome. It's stupid.
Yeah. Tyrene has that stupid where she goes, God Queen Tyrene. I don't know if you caught it, but when we were playing, it's God King Troy, and she's like, yeah, that doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like they didn't pop, and like the times when they tried to get all serious and angry was like kind of pathetic. Like the only time it really it impacted me was when, spoiler alert, Lilith lost her powers and Maya died. Those were the only 2 points where I was like, okay, I can see their douchebaggery, but it still doesn't compare to when Jack shot Roland and the way he was about it, like, and how that impacted everyone. Like Tiny Tina losing Roland, like that was fucked up and hard. Like we had this new character who was very sad about losing Maya, and I was sad about losing Maya. I thought she was a great character. And then like Lilith losing her powers, whatever it is. She's been up and down as long as I can remember. But aside from the main villains, like I said, the Vault Hunters were cool. A lot of the side, well, I guess they're still main characters, but a lot of the good guys were pretty cool. We had Hammerlock's freaking
the fat chick
boyfriend.
Jacobs.
Yeah, the Jacobs guy. He was cool. I liked him a lot, and they ended up getting married or something in the end credits. That was cool. Ellie, I'm really glad to see Ellie came and was more of a character, like the mechanics after Scooter died, and between the second game and the third game. Tannis, finding out that she was in fact a siren, that was pretty cool. I actually liked that a lot. It was a good spin. I liked what they did with bringing in a little bit more lore to the actual gun companies or the Mali one, bringing back Atlas because of the Tales of the Borderlands thing that they did with whatever the hell that one company is. I can't remember the name. Then they had Jacobs, obviously, a little bit in the TDR, but not much. And I don't know if I'm missing any other ones.
Nope, that's about it.
But yeah, that was cool. I like that they're getting more in there. And Doll. I said Doll, didn't I? Or did I say TDR?
You said TDR.
There's so many.
I know.
It's hard to remember. But yeah, it was fun. It was really good. Just it isn't Borderlands 2 quality story. You didn't have Jack. You didn't have like the witty comebacks. It wasn't as good as having Jack from Borderlands 2. But I will say, because of the graphics upgrade, looking better, feeling at first it didn't feel as good, but then it started to feel better, a little bit easier to play. It ended up being very close, like a very close competition, a close second, but I still think Borderlands 2 was better. But that's pretty much my take on the story. It told a good story. I like what they did with the story, but it was also a little bit too cheesy in certain places, and I don't know how they're gonna play another game off unless the DLCs really clean up what happened.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was kind of a sloppy ending, not very much explanation for what ended like the very very far end after that final boss fight.
Yeah.
But unless these DLC clean it up, I don't know. Oh, and that's another thing is the boss fights were not as memorable as the second game. Like I remember the first time fighting Wilhelm in the second one. That is one I'll always remember. Like this one, the only memorable one really was fighting Troy because that one was like, for me, it was overpowered because of our weapon setup. But I mean, that's pretty much my opinion. What about you, Damien?
Well, real quick, give it a score out of 10. Just a story.
Okay. Am I doing this 1 out of 10 compared to the other Borderlands games, or 1 out of 10 compared to all games?
Well,
okay,
I guess just all games.
I'm gonna say that it is a pretty. I'm torn. I'm gonna call it 7.9.
Okay. Okay.
Because it is not a bad game. It is not a bad game at all. But I don't think it deserves an 8 because out of all the other games that have come out this year and all the competition that it has, there's some stuff that beats it.
For sure.
But it absolutely is still a much better game than most. And I hate to say this, I really, really do. But the one night we played the Call of Duty beta, I actually had a little bit more fun on that than I did playing some of the missions in Borderlands 3.
That's fair. A lot of the missions they get repetitive.
Well, they do, and that's the thing. Like Borderlands is supposed to be repetitive, but like it didn't have the fun little things that made it like fun to repeat. Like there's some missions in Borderlands 2 where it's like I can't wait to do this mission again. And this one, it's like maybe I haven't found them yet because we didn't do a lot of the side missions, but it just doesn't feel the way Borderlands 2 felt.
Yes.
So I'm giving it a 7.9, just shy of 8 because it could be 8 if the DLC that come out. Like if those are good, then it could bump up to 8. But until then, it's gonna have to stay 7.9 for me.
Okay. So for me, it's very much the same. Obviously, I didn't play Borderlands 2, but I watched it, so I know the story of Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about how I feel about Borderlands 2, but I can't agree it's a better story. So Borderlands 3, a lot of the story to me feels very forgettable. The cool aspects I would say would be like when Zero shows back up, and a lot of the old characters when you meet Maya again, like those are cool moments because I like how Borderlands is an interconnected universe like that.
Yeah,
like these are people you used to play.
Is that we sorry, we didn't get Salvador or Axton. That bothered me, but like you were saying, Maya and Zero, that was cool.
So I would say the beginning of the game's pretty rough. Like Borderlands 2, not as rough as Borderlands 2 to get into. I think it picks up pretty fast. Once you get about halfway through, and then once the ending of the game starts hitting, it's treading on all fours. It turns I think the beginning is the worst part of the game.
Yeah, but I feel like you think that for most of the Borderlands because of how hard it is.
Well, yeah, but no, I think story-wise, it was pretty rough to get through the first few hours. Even though we were super excited to play, as I look back, it's just not very memorable. Once you get to about Eden 6, I think is where the game picks up.
Yeah.
And even though my favorite area is probably the city, although Eden 6 I do really like.
Eden 6 was great. But I loved all the Jacob stuff, so Eden 6 was great for me.
So what I will say about the bosses, I agree. I think the only memorable bosses are Pin and Terror, Troy, and then obviously Tyrene because she's the last one. But her boss fight was her boss fight was not good. And
no,
I mean, there's that one boss fight where we fight that vault monster where like the ground is sliding and stuff, but it's a very basic fight. So I just
that was a good one. Like I will say, like it's not memorable, but it was a great fight. I enjoyed it a lot.
Like that's gonna be something though. Like I feel like what I liked about Borderlands 2 for people was you could go and fight these bosses over and over again. They were so challenging that it was fun to do them. And I mean, with Troy, we fucking destroyed him.
Yeah, that was a good one though. Like I genuinely
that was a fun one. Yeah, he flies up and stuff. Like
even though we smelted him, it was good.
And I do like which we'll talk about later, kind of the side quests, but I do like some of the smaller bosses. I think Kill Volt was the most annoying and probably the worst boss. because he shocks the ground, and it is very annoying in
I
that
didn't
fight.
I didn't think he was too bad. Oh wait, Kilovolt. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
the guy with the speakers. Yeah, Kilovolt was annoying. That's the
Oh,
only one that we had
Loudmouth
to
you're thinking of.
Yeah, Loudmouth I thought was hilarious because that
Yeah.
was super easy. Kilovolt was so stupid. That was the only one we had to restart like 4 times
Yep.
because if you get downed at the wrong moment or if you're low health at the wrong time, you're done. And I didn't realize until like the third time there's a place that starts shocking up right before he does the entire floor, and like for 5 seconds that place opens up and it's safe. But you have to time it right. It was so dumb. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but that just wasn't a good one.
My least favorite part of that. And I will say the end kind of drags on. Maybe about an hour too long. There's a lot of parts in the middle and end that they could have cut out and made side quests. Obviously, you keep the whole Jacob storyline because that was probably the most interesting part of the game.
Oh, that was so good.
But a lot of the stuff you do towards the end with Typhon, I just didn't care for that much. Going into the vaults was cool, but
Yeah.
I didn't care for it as much. The ending is very flat. It's very stale. When it ended, I even asked Jared, like, what the fuck did Firebird do? Like, what is she doing on the moon? You know, her symbol's there, but they don't really explain,
They really didn't.
like, what, just because her symbol's there, how does that stop the vault from opening? I don't get that. Hopefully they explain that more in
That's
the
what I
DLC.
meant by DLC. Absolutely.
Like, I know
That was
sirens
so
are powerful, but I
sloppy.
mean, we're talking about, it would have been better if, like, they had to get all 11 sirens in the world to
There's
stop
only
it.
6.
Sorry, 6. All 6 to stop it because we had 5 of them at one point.
I agree. That actually would have been kind of cool.
So, because then they harness the power to stop. I get that, but we're talking about 1. I just feel like that makes it too powerful and too much of a. It's hard. It was too easy for the writers to get out of that, in a sense.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Obviously,
Scapegoat.
Maya dying sucked. I think the standouts,
Yeah.
obviously, they added great characters like Balex, who was the
Oh my
standout.
god. He was awesome.
Yeah.
That whole part of that
Yeah.
story.
Best part of the story.
Without
It was
a
the
doubt.
funniest, too. Balex is cool. So, if I had to give it a rating out of 10 story-wise, I think it's a 7.5.
That's fair.
And to just compare it to other loot and shooters, I think the first Destiny is a 5 story-wise. The DLCs we can talk about. Those get better. Those get better.
The main story, dude. I have to disagree with that. I have to say it's probably a 4. I think 5's generous for the first
Maybe.
Destiny.
The DLCs, I would like Taken King's story and stuff like that. Honestly,
Oh my god,
might
9.
rival Borderlands or even be better than Borderlands 3.
Without a doubt.
So yeah,
Oh,
7.5
was great.
for story. I guess we can talk about gunplay real quick. So I'll start with that. And just, I guess, overall guns and stuff like that. The game feels amazing. I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, so I know Jared's playing on controller. And at the beginning of the game, there was some technical difficulties because they don't really allow you to map everything correctly on a controller. On keyboard, it's fine because you have so many different keys, but on a controller, it's a lot harder to map the way you want.
Yeah.
But
I can go into more detail on that.
I love the guns in this game. There's only one company I don't pick up guns for, or if I do, I'm selling them. It's Maliwan. I think their guns are the worst in the game, especially their shotguns. I haven't touched their ARs that much, but
ARs aren't good. The only thing good with Maliwan is a sniper.
So I'm using my preferred are dual assault rifles. I love Jacobs shotguns, and then sniper. It's Jacobs as well, and then rocket launcher. Anything besides Maliwan.
I hate rocket launchers. I can't use any of them.
Yeah, I use them. And all the guns that I found so far that have been like exotics, quote unquote, that's just what we call them. I know they're called something else in the Borderlands
They're
series,
legendary,
but I call them exotics just because I'm so used to the Destiny thing. All of them are pretty unique. They shoot differently. Sometimes you throw them and they do something cool. So my favorite gun that I've gotten so far is a dull exotic because when I shoot it, it shoots out like bullets that like spin in a circle and attack people like that. And obviously the one pump chump is probably the best gun in the game, or best shotgun in the game for sure. But yeah, overall gunplay, it feels better in Borderlands 2 for sure. They obviously updated it in that sense. if I was to compare it to, honestly, I think Borderlands 3 and Destiny 2 are on the same level when it comes to gunplay.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think they're very similar. Obviously, they're in the same genre of game, but they're very similar and they feel the same in a lot of ways. I know I said similar wrong right there, but they do feel the same in a lot of ways. They're very similar. So yeah, gunplay and stuff like that, it's fucking fan. You play Borderlands for that, in my opinion.
Well, for the gun, like the random generation of guns, and that's something like in Borderlands 2, they started the whole like unlimited guns. Like every single gun is different unless you duplicate it, which is what everyone did. And they said like they built off of that in Borderlands 3. Like they made it better, they enhanced it, and that was great. The only thing I will say is, in my opinion, they ruined some of the Vladoff weapons, which I hate because I love the Vladoff weapons. They had some amazing Vladoff weapons in Borderlands 2. Specifically, there was a legendary or gold, whatever you want to call it, one. It was called something Hail, and it shot bullets, but you had to aim up because they would fire in the air and then come down, and it was like electric. It was great. Such a good gun. And they kind of ruined it. Like a lot of the Vladoff pistols, it didn't, like, if it had an elemental ability, it was a taser. So you'd be firing it, however, and then you'd switch, and then you'd fire one little bolt of electricity, and it would stay on them for a second. That was dumb.
I'm honestly kind of glad there's not like a raid or anything in this game, because with so many guns like that, it's hard to find what is the best. And
Absolutely.
So for me in Destiny, when I'm into Destiny, I'm truly focusing on, okay, where can I get that gun that's best for the raid? What do I have to do? What can like when the Thorn came out in Destiny 1, that was a hard grind to do. And I think with that you're focused on getting that best weapon. So at Borderlands, I think that's what kind of annoys me a little bit, is I'm always swapping stuff and there's no truly best thing. And it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but I always like to have the best stuff, and I always want to feel like I have the best stuff.
Yeah.
But Borderlands,
I told you, once we hit level 50, you
I
can
know.
pick what you want.
No, I know. But Borderlands, it seems like it's more of a best. It's hard to say. It's more of a best that suits your character. When Destiny, it's more of like best of what fits that situation.
That's fair. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But the thing is, like, what they were in Borderlands, what they became in Borderlands 3 with a lot of the guns, a lot of it got worse, but a lot of it got better.
Yeah.
For example, the doll weapons. I didn't use doll weapons hardly ever in Borderlands 2, but now it's one of the only things I'll use when it comes to ARs. And actually, right before last time we played, I got a couple very, very good doll SMGs, similar to the AR, full auto, very nice, and I've been using those. So like the guns have changed, and that's okay. And I'm so happy that Jacob's guns have, for the most part, stayed the same. They changed up a little bit of like the lower tier, like the gray and green pistols aren't as fast as you can pull the trigger, or you click the button to fire, but the higher tier ones are. But yeah, like Damien's saying, technical difficulties when we first started playing. That is one thing. I didn't want to play on mouse and keyboard. I could have, but I chose to play on controller because that's how I played Borderlands 2. That's how I wanted to play Borderlands 3. And the way that they changed so much. If you are host, you have the left and right on the D-pad to change missions on the fly, which is a cool feature. I didn't use it. I didn't want to use it. I didn't need it, but it was there, and I could remap the buttons to try to put it the way it used to be, which if anyone played the Borderlands 2, that you use the D-pad to switch between weapons slot 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't get it to go because if you're using a weapon that has one of the new features where it switches between firing modes, like either full auto to semi-auto, or I know Torg weapons would be like impact, explosion, or sticky, and it would delay for a minute. Those are cool features. Like now that I've been playing and I've just decided that I've come to terms with I have to just spam Y to switch guns. It's okay. I like some of the features they've added. It's quite nice because now I can have some of the Maliwan guns, even though they're not great, you can have two different like electricity and fire on one gun. That's cool. So I don't have to have in my inventory switching out. But it annoys the shit out of me because now, like when I was first starting, and Damien can completely, confirm this, I was sitting there cussing and pissed off because I didn't want to have to spam Y to switch through my guns. I wanted to be able to just press up to go to weapon 1, down to 2, left to 3, right to 4, because that's what I've been doing every time I play Borderlands 2. And I played it with one of our buddies, played it constantly, and I loved it. I would just boop, there's my fire gun, boop, there's my electric gun, boop, there's my slag gun. Well, in this one, it's like why, oh crap, that's not the gun I wanted. Why again? Oh, I went past it. Why, oh, there we are. Like it's a pain in the ass, and especially with us picking up new weapons every other level, like until I hit level 50 and I have them exactly where I want them, it's annoying as fuck. But that being said, I got past it. It doesn't annoy me as badly as it did, but that is one of the reasons I gave it a lower rating, because they added these new features, which is cool and all, but they didn't have enough buttons in the controller, so it kind of took away one of the features that I personally loved, and I know a lot of people loved. I've seen a few YouTube videos about people complaining about it, but they're like, "Oh, I was playing the keyboard then." Well, I'm not that kind of person. I can't just move over the keyboard.
I get you.
But yeah, the gunplay was great. Damien, it's been good. We found a lot of cool guns, and especially that one shotgun I got, where I mixed it with that shield and that relic, and that's how we destroyed Troy.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, I found an exotic shotgun that fires a shitload of, like, what was it, the radiation rounds or whatever, and it just explodes like 1,000 times. Ridiculous high magazine capacity. It's great. And a certain shield I have takes away half of my health or 75% of my health and upgrades my shield by 50 or 100% or something like that. And I'm immune to radiation damage, so I can fire this at my feet and not take damage from it because it only does radiation. And then I had a relic that went and took my health down even lower, so I had like no health. I had like a couple hundred health and then a couple thousand shield. But it would take the radiation damage and it would basically do like 200% radiation damage. But the problem is when my shield exploded, there was some amount of chance to down me instantly. It was a whole bunch of things. It was a gamble basically. But if I wasn't losing shield, wrecking bosses, and it was great. But yeah, gunplay, it upgraded from Borderlands 2.
For sure.
Definitely.
So we can talk about our characters that we chose. So
definitely.
I chose Zane, and the build I was going for at first, I was using the shield because the shield gave me double damage and healing, and then I was using the drone.
That was so good.
It was so good. I was using the drone. Yeah, that shield saved their ass, and I can make the shield a dome and stuff. And then I use the drone because when the drone sends out this beam, it takes their health away and gives me their health, which was nice. But then I realized, and I didn't care for the clone. I thought the clone was trash. And then I started watching YouTube videos, and I saw fucking people flying around the map, playing how I wanted to play. Because I like using shotguns. I like being up. I like shooting things and getting out of there and then coming back. That's just how I've played Destiny. It's how I play games in general like that. And I was like, well, shit. So now I'm running the Digiclone and the drone, because obviously the drone is still giving me health and it's giving me a boost in speed. And then my Digiclone is also giving me a boost in speed. And then when I think when I go back to it, so like if I run away, I can hit, I have toggle to V, but when I hit V again, I teleport to where he was and I gain my health back.
Yeah.
And then what's also nice is he's basically a warlock from Destiny, because if my Digiclone's out, I can just self-res myself.
It's pretty OP.
Yeah, pretty OP. Yeah, but most of the people are saying Flak's the best character when it comes to damage and output and stuff like that.
And that's who yours truly picked. I went for Flak. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, oh, this is cool, I love the dog. And then there was a point in the middle where I was like, I fucking hate this. And then we got a little bit further in the game and I was like, oh, I love it. I didn't take a build. I watched a few YouTube videos on how to maximize damage or get a shit ton of health. And I was like, you know what? My first time playing Borderlands 2, I didn't do a build. I didn't do a build. I think last year was when I did my first ever build on Borderlands 2 for one of my characters. I mean, I was like, screw it. I'm not going to start with building flak. I'm just going to play, put stuff in the abilities to get the things I think looks cool. And then once we hit max level, if I want to remap or respec, whatever, I'll do it.
Hmm.
So I ended up in the middle of the story. I don't think I told you I did it. I said I think I want to respec, and I never did. But a couple days later, I went in when you weren't on. I respect, put almost everything in the same, except I adjusted something slightly. So it gave me a little bit higher damage output depending on my beast being out. And I think I told you a little bit about it. How if I shoot people, it heals my beast, but me and my beast share health. So it's like the more I shoot people, even if I'm taking damage, the damage is halved and goes to my beast, but I'm healing him, so he's never going to go down or whatever. It was a whole thing. So I kind of enhanced that portion of it, but I didn't do anything crazy. Like there was a whole bunch of builds where it's like you can basically never die, and I'm like, well, that doesn't sound fun. It sounds awesome, but it doesn't sound fun. So I kept it the way I kept it. But as we go into True Vault Hunter mode, I might have to respec because gonna need all help we can get.
Yeah, mayhem mode is pretty difficult. We're only on
Yeah,
mayhem
it's not as
one.
bad as I was expecting.
No, I mean it's something you have to get used to. You have to take things a lot slower. So I guess we'll go into our just overall rating of the game. I'd like to start this out with, obviously we recommend the game if you like playing Borderlands or Destiny or Division. It's that game that you're gonna want to play.
Yes.
If this is your first looter shooter, it is
I
very
still recommend.
it's very deep. It's a lot deeper than something like a Destiny or even a Division. I'd still recommend probably Destiny 2 first because it's a good introduction into that system. Because Borderlands, it does punish you for not knowing how to build your character in a lot of ways. But if you just want to hop in, fucking get Borderlands, it's great. Overall score, 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
What about you, Jared?
If I had to go overall, oh, you're killing me here. You're killing me, Smalls. Overall, I'd also say an 8.5. I would have given it higher if they didn't ruin the gunplay. Well, not ruin, but ruin the mapping of the guns. And I would have given it higher if the villains were better or more like Jack.
Yeah.
Comparatively, I would say Borderlands 2, in my opinion, is like a 9.3. I would say this is an 8.5. Borderlands 1, I only played part of it and I didn't care for it too much. It's a little bit older of a game. And that I gave I think I gave it like an 8 point something, like when someone asked me about it. But yeah, it's a good game, but it's not the best one's come out this year, I guess is the good way to put it.
No, for sure. I don't think it's. I mean, to put it in perspective, for me, it's the best Borderlands just because it's the only one I can play.
Yeah.
Do I? I don't think it's better than Destiny 1 at like Taken King era.
No.
Just because that was so good, and that might be nostalgic. I love that era of Destiny.
Taken King was great. I've never played more Halo, more Destiny than Taken King.
Yeah, Taken King is one of the best expansions we've seen in gaming history because it completely flipped that game around. Hopefully this DLC is really good for Borderlands. I know it launches later this year, so we'll see how that goes. I have to buy it.
Yeah, so do I. I should have just paid for the more expensive version.
So again, I think it's worth the $60. That's not said too often nowadays for a lot of games.
It really isn't.
So I think that's the highest grade we could get. I think it's worth $60 to play.
I would say that as well.
Unlike Blair Witch, that was maybe worth $5, and which you can play on Game Pass. So yeah, that's our Borderlands 3 review. Last week we reviewed Gears 5. I just finished that up on my YouTube channel, and that's about it for this week. Nothing really going on. No movies are coming out.
That's not true. I mentioned it earlier, and we're going to mention it again. We played a little bit of the Call of Duty beta.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we were going to do Call of Duty impressions. So, two things. One, if you just want a short, quick, simple, kind of off-the-cuff video, I put up a beta impressions on my YouTube channel. It's about... Yeah, I put it up Saturday.
I didn't even see that.
So, it's about, what? About 3 days into the beta? Beta ended Monday of this week, and I already missed a game. So as the Call of Duty Pro here, I'll talk first.
You know what? That being said, I'm gonna talk first because
Okay.
I'm someone who does not like Call of Duty for the most part. Fuck you. I don't like that you said that. I'm going.
Okay, go first.
So I don't care what he's gonna say. I'm sure he's gonna say, "Oh, Call of Duty, the best game ever made, best franchises ever. It's so good. Buy
Oh
it,
no, I
buy
have some
it."
shit to talk in a
Um,
minute.
and that's fine. He can say that all he wants. I'm gonna pretend he isn't talking right now. What I'm gonna say is, he was telling me to download this beta for a couple days, and I updated downloading it Saturday. We played it Sunday night, and that was it. And then it ended Monday or some shit. I don't even know. We played like for a couple hours, like whatever. Um, I don't like Call of Duty anymore. I used to love it. Like when I play Halo, I'd be like, "Huh, this is enough Halo. Let's go play a couple rounds of Call of Duty now, guys." And that's how I was. That's because that was what it. That's what middle schoolers did, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I started Modern Warfare 2, my first ever Call of Duty. To this day, still love that game. It's my favorite Call of Duty. Even like going back and playing, it's still my favorite, and that's partially due to nostalgia, but it's still a great game. Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. Those four fantastic Call of Duties. I mean, you can't very little about those games was not good other than the fucking Xbox Live game chat. That was I can't even tell you how many times I got called the N word and
It was
said that
something
my mom was
special.
fucked and that I needed to go kill myself. There's so like I genuinely think that can cause people to end their own lives. That's how bad that shit was. But the games were fine, for the most part. After that, you had Ghost, which wasn't bad. Campaign was the main thing. Campaign was the main thing. The multiplayer, I was like, eh. Advanced Warfare, didn't actually play that at all when it came out. I didn't know it came out. I played it a year after it came out, and I played the campaign, and I loved the campaign. Played a little bit of multiplayer as it was ending. And there was an amazing like laser sniper I loved. Whatever, it was cool. Infinite Warfare, love Infinite Warfare, fantastic game. I know that everyone hates it, but I
No,
only
no, no,
hold on.
no.
I am talking.
You
I
need
am
to
speak.
clarify your
I
statement
am
right now.
I'm was before you
Okay,
interrupted
go
me, you
ahead.
rude little slut. Um, I know that everyone hates the multiplayer of that game. I know that everyone despises it. I don't care about the multiplayer. I think I played it once. Don't give a shit. Multiplayer was whatever. I Call of Duty multiplayer anymore sucks. Loved Infinite Warfare campaign. I have played that campaign more than I've played any other Call of Duty campaign. It is so good. I don't know what it is. Damien says it's because it's like Halo. I don't think that it is. I think the characters are really good characters, memorable characters. I can name all of them right now, except for the main character you play as because I can't remember his name. There's Salter,
Yeah, nobody
Briggs.
fucking
Or,
cares. Move on.
anyway, great game. What was the next one? World War II. That
World War
was
II, yeah.
fine. Whatever. It was good. A little bit too hyped. Played the multiplayer for a while. Whatever. You
You
get then
first,
we
whoa,
get.
whoa, whoa, whoa. You love that multiplayer just because of the shovels. You played a
Oh, I forgot
ton
about that.
of World War II.
That's probably the only Call of Duty since like Black Ops 2 that I've played the multiplayer by myself because I loved using the shovel. I would sit for hours if there was no one around and just fucking play the game with nothing but a shovel and just giggle to myself as I ran around fucking demolishing people with a shovel. I don't know if I have record of it, but I know once I went 50 some kills plus with less than 10 deaths just using a shovel. I was crazy. And then the next one came out was Black Ops 4. Hated that game because there's no melee weapons until they added some shitty ones later. Just garbage. They ruined melee after World War II. I just have to say that.
Yeah.
Long story short, bad history with Call of Duty multiplayers, okay history with the campaign. I had no intention of playing this new one. What's it called? Just Modern Warfare? Is that
Modern
what it's
Warfare,
called?
yeah.
Yeah. No intention of getting it, no intention of playing it. I saw some stuff about it and I said maybe when it's less than the release price, so like I don't know, $30 sometime in the next year, I'll try it for the campaign because it sounds a little bit interesting. Because it was free and because I was sick of hearing, come on, just download the beta, come on. I downloaded it when this dipshit was working. I didn't touch it. I didn't want to touch it. I almost didn't even play it, but we played a couple rounds. We played some realism mode, which was kind of cool. We played some team deathmatch, which was all right. We played some stupid search and destroy mode that was gay but kind of cool, and then we played a game mode. Basically, we played Battlefield, and they named it Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Game
And
mode's called
that,
Ground
my
War.
friend, that, my friend, was fantastic. That fucking game mode was so much fucking fun. I didn't know what I was doing for a very good portion of it. I think Damien posted a video about it, and the first thing that happened was I couldn't steer a quad, and then I drove out of bounds, and then somehow blew up a tank. So that happened within 2 minutes. But that game mode alone makes me think I might buy the game. However, that being said, don't know if I'm going to care about the campaign.
You're gonna care about the campaign. It's
I
hyper
probably
realistic.
I probably will, but I'm trying not
They're
to
gonna
because I don't want to spend
real
money
quick
in this game.
over the next 10 days. They are gonna be showing campaign info.
Jesus. I can't. I'm gonna basically what happened is I played the beta for fucking 6 hours, not even like maybe 3 hours, and now I'm buying the game because I enjoyed myself and I hate it because Call of Duty, no matter what, Call of Duty sucks the money out of my wallet. No matter how many times they repeat the same shit over. But I saw something today that apparently PlayStation's getting
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
exclusive.
Don't. We'll talk about that later.
I read that and I can't even tell you how much I almost went back on not wanting. Like I don't think I want to get it because of that, but I'm very torn. Long story short, it was a shitload of fun playing the one game mode. The other ones where it's like team deathmatch and shit, I don't like that. I don't that kind of shit I've never liked. But this open battlefield, basically battlefield type Call of Duty, it wasn't bad, especially with the way the guns work now, because it's a lot different from the other Call of Duties. Well, I shouldn't say a lot different, but it's pretty different. It seems like it has a good chance to actually be okay, assuming the Battlefield people don't sue Call of Duty for basically copying it in this game mode. Because I literally loaded it and went, this is Battlefield. Like, this is exactly what this is with, like, some Call of Duty type gameplay.
Yeah.
That being said, I'll now let you speak and give your very biased opinion.
It's not biased at all. No, it's not biased. I can see a bad Call of Duty and call it bad.
Well, that's fair.
So I guess we'll go. So now you know how Jared feels about Call of Duty. So I'll kind of give a brief history of Call of Duty for me. Modern Warfare 2 I think is good. I think there's a lot of problems with it. It's not my favorite. It might be out of my top 5 now. I'll have to think about that. So Black Ops 1 is the Call of Duty I probably started playing the most of, and that really found my love for Call of Duty.
Did you master Prestige?
Well, yeah, I hit level or Prestige 15.
Okay.
That's how you get gold in that game. And Modern Warfare 3 I liked. I didn't. Black Ops 1 I was more worried about my KD. Modern Warfare 3 I was just playing to have fun. And the more and more I think about the game, the more and more I realize that how much I hated it.
Modern Warfare or Black Ops?
3. Modern Warfare 3.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we went and replayed that recently too. That was
a lot of the maps are trash on that game, and I never realized it until I went back and played it. And then Black Ops 2 came out, and Black Ops 2 to this day is still my favorite Call of Duty. It's the most I've been involved in competitive when I was on that Call of Duty team. It's the one that I would get home, and my favorite content creator is Nade Shot, and he was doing a series called Road to 100-0, and so obviously going 100-0 in week play, and I would get home every single day, man, and I found him when he was like 21-0, and that just started the love right there, and I watched every single match that I could when he would upload it to YouTube. I was watching it. I was watching Call of Duty pros play all the time. And so that's how I learned to play Call of Duty is from the pros.
Yeah, that's how you became a cancer stick.
Yeah, and then I would say I noticed my increased skill for Call of Duty in Advanced Warfare because I would fucking beam people. Although I will say Advanced Warfare did have pay to win with the loot boxes because I had the Bow Obsidian Steed and I had a clear advantage over people with a normal Bow. It was insane. Clear. So that game we'll just toss it aside. Black Ops 3 is the last game I played competitively, and that is still one of my top 5 Call of Duties of all time. I've played so much of that. Max Prestige, I forget what level I am, 300 something.
Jesus Christ. Man.
So I went through 10 prestiges with 55, or no, is it 55 levels? 55 levels, and then went 300 more levels after that. And I love that game to death, even though it's boots in the air, not boots on the ground. I think that's a really well-made game, and I think it's really balanced overall, and the most fun I've had in a Call of Duty in a while. Infinite Warfare is shit. I didn't play it, but I played Modern Warfare Remastered. I love Modern Warfare Remastered. Obviously, COD 4. It's a great game. It's still annoying as fuck, but, you know, that year I didn't really play that much Call of Duty. That was the year I was playing a lot of Destiny.
Good alternative.
Good alternative, yes, correct. And Black Ops 4 is interesting. When the game first launched, I really liked it. And
even though you shouldn't have.
It's a decent game. It's well made, but it's not what it could have been. And I still enjoy it to this day. Like, I like hopping on and playing it, but it's a Call of Duty where I go, if I never play this again, I'm okay. And then I was kind of down on Call of Duty for a little bit, and then this beta came out, and at first, the first day, I was like, this is fucking awful. You die way too quick. And then I started getting better at it, starting to learn how to play, and this is a really good, I can tell this is going to be a really good Call of Duty multiplayer-wise. Campaign-wise, they've talked about how realistic it is and how a lot of the IGN people don't like it because, you know, you see fucking terrorism happening in schools, or terrorist attacks happening in schools, and Jesus. You see, so they use live leak videos to, like, capture the feel, right? So those videos where you see soldiers get fucking decapitated, like, they wanted that feeling of those. And I believe we talked about the missions of the single player a while ago on our podcast.
Yeah, I think when it first leaked.
So they showed a trailer for the campaign. It looks pretty good. So we'll see. Captain Price is back, so obviously I'll play it. But yeah, the multiplayer is really fucking good. Cyber Attack is what I'd play most of the time. It's that one life mode, mainly because the spawns are kind of broken right now in the beta, to where if I play TDM, I was constantly having to turn back around and stuff, and that's why I just don't play TDM anymore, because I feel like I get punished for bad spawns when I shouldn't be. And Domination was fun. Headquarters was kind of annoying. Cyber Attack was the mode I played the most of. Best guns in the game: M4, MP5, the FAMAS. The FAMAS is inconsistent, but it's really good if you can one burst somebody. That's basically, the Odin's really good. It shoots really slow. And then me and my friend David played 2v2 mode, and 2v2 is really cool because the mode we were playing on the most was the one where you have to pick up your weapons. And that's just a cool, fun, competitive game mode. Me and him are currently 7-0 on that. And then me and Cody played it, and we're like 3-5. Cody is so bad at that. It was incredible to watch. And then we get to the game mode Jared was talking about, Ground War. And we should just call it Battlefield 6. It is maybe just as good as Battlefield in a lot of ways. Gunplay, better than Battlefield, for sure. And I'm a Battlefield fan. Battlefield 3 is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. But Call of Duty's always just felt more smoother and better to me than a lot of Battlefields. So this game mode, the map was pretty good. It was very tight. There was choke points, which I like. So I know where everyone's going to be. I know where a lot of people are going to be. So if I want to sneak up behind them and get a lot of kills, I know where they are. Battlefield got away from that. They went more of a openness kind of way, and I think that really hindered a lot of things with their games and their multiplayer. But I posted on YouTube. I went 55-8. I got 2 VTOLs, which are the Harriers from MW2, and I got White Phosphorus, which is the very, I guess, scrutinized streak that the media was going after Call of Duty for because of how terrible that happened in real life, like what it's used for in real life. Basically, it creates a smoke and you start choking and dying and your health lowers, and I was fucking going off. In the video,
Wait, when did this happen? What were they complaining about?
So they were complaining that the White Phosphorus kill streak was in the game because in real life of how bad it is.
But it's not, isn't that like, it's not like a thing that it's used very often, and that's like used in terrorist situations, isn't it?
So that's why they didn't want it in the game.
It's stupid. I fucking hate people.
Yeah.
It's a game.
So I use the White Phosphorus. People were saying it's not that good. They just weren't using it correctly because I, at that point, could take on anybody in a gunfight and I was for sure going to win because their screen gets all foggy. And I do believe they start losing health and the character's coughing so they can't hear you storming at them. But in that gameplay uploaded on YouTube, I went 55-8 and I was 3 kills off a nuke. So if you want to go see that, I'll have my YouTube channel linked down below. But yeah, overall, it's going to be a really good multiplayer. But let's get into the shit that had me so mad. So much. I was fuming because MW3 had this great mode called Survival Mode. It was the, I guess, response to Treyarch's Zombies in a way, because you were just fighting normal people and juggernauts would show up and helicopters would show up. And my favorite map to play on it was Resistance, because we would get sentry guns set up and sit behind the couches inside house.
Yep.
And they would just take out juggernauts and shit like that. So they announced that that game mode's coming back. The only problem is us PC players and Xbox players are getting punished for the platform we choose, which, before we continue, Call of Duty said before with crossplay, they didn't want to punish you for choosing a different system than your friends, but this is what they're doing now. So we have no paid DLCs, right? So that's a plus, but we're trading one bad for another bad. So survival mode, and I mean, it's a game mode, but it's something I would have played a lot. We're not gonna,
that's my favorite thing ever.
yeah, we are not going to be able to play that till October of 2020.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So it's a year exclusive only on PlayStation. And I'm not going to knock just Call of Duty for this. I'm going to knock Sony as well. You are supposed to be very consumer friendly and player friendly, and you say that you are, but yet you continue to do stuff that shows that you're not. You continually put down crossplay between Minecraft and other games like Destiny. And with Call of Duty,
Minecraft?
Yeah, so they didn't want to do crossplay with Minecraft, and Microsoft and Switch made that video saying, hey, we can play together, you know, whatever. And Sony came up with some bullshit excuse of like, we want to protect our users and our security. It's like, well, you get taken down every other day, so you're not really doing that by yourselves anyways.
Yeah.
So you're not consumer friendly, you're not player friendly, and you're doing shit like this all the time, but yet you'll put down crossplay and stuff that brings gamers together, and I don't agree with those business practices.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Call of Duty, I don't get why you do this stuff, because you're alienating people and it makes people feel a certain type of way to where they're not going to buy your game. Even if they weren't going to play survival, here's the thing. For $60, I'm getting less than somebody on a PS4. For $60, I'm not getting what they're getting.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that total
I saw
package.
people tweeting today all day, like, oh, you know what? If you guys are really going to go through and do this shit, like, I'm canceling my pre-order. Like, I'm not getting your game if this is how you're going to fucking treat your consumers. And I completely agree with that. That's why I'm torn, because now I don't want to, like, I don't want to get it because they're completely treating everyone else like garbage. And that's not fair. I enjoyed myself. And finding out that one of my favorite game modes from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 is coming back, and now I can't play it for a whole year because I don't buy a fucking PlayStation. What the fuck is that? That's not cool. I paid $2,000 plus for my PC, and I love this thing to death. I have been doing a ton with it, and this cool game that I thought I might try out, I'm now completely turned off of because I chose not to spend, or I'm sorry, I chose not to waste $500 on a fucking PlayStation, the most inferior fucking gaming console there is.
And I think survival mode, so Zombies is a game seller, right? People buy Call of Duty Black Ops for Zombies, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that mode, people will be like, okay, I liked it in MW3, I want to try it again. So that's a game seller. And you're alienating Xbox people, especially, and PC players, but Call of Duty's not that big on PC. But Xbox is still is like the #1 game on there. You're telling those people you chose a system you like, so you're getting punished for it, which I don't get. And this whole thing that I just don't agree with these tactics. I understand these companies are getting money for putting their games on a certain platform for a certain amount of time. I don't agree with it. I don't like when Microsoft puts year exclusivities on certain games like Rise of the Tomb Raider that was only on Xbox for a year. That's not right. That's a whole AAA game that PS4 players don't get to experience. I feel the same way, again, with PlayStation doing that. I feel like there's certain games that should be on both systems. We've had multiple talks about Marvel Spider-Man that should be on both systems. I feel very strong about that, considering it's fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Batman
you had to pay to get a fucking PlayStation just to play it.
And I'm a huge fan, so of course I want to spend the money and play it, but there's people out there who look at that character as like a way to cope with their lives, and they're not able to play a game they want to play because they spent all their money on an Xbox with their friends. They're being punished for that. I don't agree with that system. I don't think exclusives should be a thing anymore. It's 2019. This isn't 2006 in console wars. This is over. Like,
Yeah.
just put every game on. Halo should be on PS4, but Last of Us should be on Xbox as well. They need to be on both systems.
See, no, okay, I don't care. Like a console exclusive, like having The Last of Us and Halo separated, that's cool and all. But if there's a game coming out on both consoles, okay, there shouldn't be, oh, well, this part of this game. No, if you're putting a game out, put it all out or don't put it out at all.
Yeah, that was the problem
That's
with
what I think is
Destiny.
stupid.
They were doing. Remember, Destiny had those strikes that were
Oh, believe
exclusive
me.
to PlayStation 4 for a year, and
Yep.
certain guns and like the Jade Rabbit and stuff like that.
A
Like,
lot of people were pissed off about that.
yeah, that's not right to consumers because I'm spending
No,
the exact same money they are, and I'm getting
it
less for
wasn't
it.
fair. It
And it
just
puts
wasn't.
and trust me, I saw that. And first off, I wasn't buying the $100 edition of Modern Warfare from the get go because there's no season pass anymore. I don't feel like it's worth the $100. All you're getting is
No.
cosmetics and stuff like that, so it's not worth the $100 to me anymore. And I don't think
Mm-mm.
the season pass was a good thing. And I'm glad that they're doing free DLC. The
But
only
here's the thing. Even if you paid for that $100 version, you still don't get survival mode for
I
a
know that's the
fucking
thing.
year.
So
That's ridiculous.
if I pay more than what a lot of players are paying, then I'm getting less in that way. And
Yeah.
so this makes
God,
me
that's so
not want to play the game to kind of stand up for like consumer rights and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's one game mode that I'd play for a few hours. I'm not going to not play Call of Duty for it because I do love the multiplayer. And I do think the campaign is going to be something really good. Obviously, we have to see more, and I'll hold that judgment. But
Yeah.
from what I've seen so far in the trailer and what they've talked about, I'm really excited for that campaign. So I think the $60 is worth it at this point in time.
I
But
don't.
but that was before they announced this, and
Yeah.
now I feel like a lot of people should wait to when it's 40 or $30.
Yeah, when it's cheaper, rightfully, honestly, they it isn't fair. Like if you were still one of those people who are like, oh, Call of Duty's coming, I got to pay for the $100 edition. I have to have it. And like even I've done that in the past with certain games.
Yeah.
If I found out that I had pre-ordered $100 version of this fucking game, and then I find out that someone who can pay $60 for it and get more than me because of the different console, I absolutely would cancel my pre-order and I would not play that game. And like that's what I was saying. Like I had a lot of fun. I want to play the game so bad when it comes out, but I'm thinking I'm not going to because I might as well wait until a whole year when I get that other game mode, and the game's not even going to be the same. It's not going to be 60 anymore. There's no way that they wouldn't lower the price by then. I might as well just wait.
And I follow a lot of the PS4 crowd on Twitter because I was in a lot of the Spider-Man community when the game was coming out. Mm-hmm. So I was following a lot of the YouTubers and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of fanboyism from them when it comes to their system. Like I saw a lot of like, oh, Xbox people and PS4 haters are going to be mad about this. Yeah, we're losing out on something that we shouldn't be losing out on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've never liked. I get the whole console war thing, but people who are on PlayStation, I hate to say this, but a lot of the people I know and have talked to in person who play PlayStation, they are massive dicks about it. I will say I prefer Xbox for this reason, and like fuck you, Xbox sucks. PlayStation's the way to go. And like if you like Xbox more than PlayStation, you're just fucking retarded. You're stupid as fuck. And I'm like, look, it's my opinion. And like no, like PS4 is so much better. We get this and this. What do you get? Oh, Halo, that's cool. And I'm like, well, listen, like I like them because Microsoft tries to treat people fairly. Obviously, since they're cross platform with PC and Switch, it's ridiculous. It pisses me off even thinking about how Sony treats people. It's not fair.
And
it's bullshit.
It's flipped because in the 360 days, this is how Microsoft was treating people, right? Call of Duty had that 30-day DLC thing, but Microsoft at least learned from it, and PlayStation learned from Microsoft, which is annoying.
Yeah,
I just want people to be more like Nintendo in a lot of ways, not make trash systems like the Wii U, but like Nintendo's open to working with anyone in a lot of ways, and they're all about their fans. I say that, but these are also the same people that release 2 versions of Pokemon to make you spend $120 to get different starters. So obviously they're not consumer friendly in a lot of ways, but
they're different starters.
In Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee,
Oh, that okay. I thought
Yeah.
you meant the normal games. Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
Sword and
Yeah,
Shield's gonna be the same way.
no, you're still getting the same starters for each one.
No, you're getting different starters.
Okay.
I believe so. I'll look it up after this. If not, I'll correct myself on next week. But yeah, Sony's not being too consumer friendly right now, and I don't agree with the Call of Duty thing. And I guess the sad thing to say is I'm still gonna buy Call of Duty, but I'm not gonna feel the Call of Duty was going in such a good direction. I was like, this is it. Like, this is finally the year where they're going to turn their shit around. Call of Duty's going to go back on top. Fortnite's dying. This is the year to do it. First off, Fortnite's fucking dead, and you're going to do this. You had the opportunity to make your game #1 again, and you're going to fucking do this and make people mad at you. So annoying, first off.
Yep.
So here's what I will say. There is 2 other games coming out in October, other than Call of Duty. And then it's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. Honestly, as of this moment, if I was a consumer, I would buy Tom Clancy and Destiny over Call of Duty for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
And I don't think Breakpoint's that is that good of a game. There's an open beta coming out the 29th that we'll play.
No, I'm not.
I don't think it's that great of a game. I don't think Wildlands was that great of a game, but they give you everything they promise in a lot of ways. And Destiny so far, Destiny 2.
It is Ubisoft. They give you as much as they can promise without.
Well, Ubisoft has a good track record the past few years. I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey does give you a lot of content for $60. I got to give them that.
Their trailers are never that. Like, it looks better than what you get.
Well, that's for sure. And Destiny 2, everything they've promised so far has come to light after the Activision split. And
that, by the way.
I have good faith in Bungie again. So obviously I put my money into a company like Bungie first. But yeah, I think that's it for this week, right?
Talked about the Halloween movies at the beginning. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good for that.
Yeah, remember, it's Scream and the original Halloween. I'm not talking about the Rob Zombie remakes. I'm not talking about the remake that came out last year. The original one, John Carpenter directed it. Go watch that. Give me your review. And then Scream, the original one, I believe it's on Netflix. 1, 2, and 3 are on Netflix. Wes Craven directed those. Wes Craven also directed Nightmare on Elm Street and created that character as well. So that's something cool to know. So yeah, we'll talk about those 2 movies next week and review them. This week for my YouTube channel, I just finished Gears 5. Friday, it's still kind of iffy. I have an Interstellar video already ready. It's been scheduled to upload, and I have 3 copyright claims on it. So I'm trying to get those disputed because I worked very hard on this, and obviously it falls into fair use. So I'm trying to get that up Friday. That might be held off for a while because if they take forever to do it, well, then I have to upload it whenever I can upload it. So worst comes to worst, the podcast will be uploaded Friday on my YouTube channel or SoundCloud if you just want to stay on SoundCloud. And then I'll probably have Borderlands Friday, or I have more Call of Duty gameplay that I can do. But yeah, that's about it for us. Make sure to go and follow us on Twitter. And thanks again, guys, for listening to Conversation Cole1's podcast.
Yep. Bye, guys.
And that's another episode for us, guys. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to comment, subscribe, follow, like, whatever. If you're on SoundCloud, it's follow, like. If you're on Spotify, you just add to your playlist, like, follow, whatever. iTunes, please leave us a review. And on YouTube, please like, comment, and share. And then subscribe to my channel, eventually Jared's channel when that comes out.
And if you guys want to follow us on social media, our Twitter handles will be linked in the description.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening.